Yeah, that always makes Chad happy, especially when pedestal can be in sequence.
Nothing too exciting from the sanctuary or Link's house. Looks like we have 3 pendants in the light world. Oh no, we have a pendant over at Desert.
Yeah. So 2 crystals, Hera and Eastern, and blue pendant at.
Looks like James is going to farm for some bombs. Brewers fan is going to show us what Uncle has. And Illis and Zelga are going over to the Lost Woods.
It's always interesting to see what runners take early.
Mirror at Uncle.
So that'll make interesting routing with that.
That is, Uncle seems to be less and less checked anymore these days. So I think that is a very interesting spot. Nothing to write home about on the race game there, but that mirror could be big for Brewers fans.
Yeah, especially he can save the screen transition in the swamp area, and so yeah.
Nothing on the library. Let's see what Kakariko Village has for us today. All of our runners electing to head towards the village versus the South Shore so far. Back at the tavern with the flute.
Ooh, fantastic place to get it if you're going to get it anywhere. Ooh, Blindside has a hammer.
Wow.
Heart pieces and $20. So that's awesome start right there.
Hammer and a glove?
And glove.
Seriously?
So Moon Pearl away from Dark World access, and we're 2.5 minutes. Let's see what the drop down is on Zelgan's side. Boots!
Wow. I feel like I should have played this one.
Yeah. Right? My first shield, heart piece, and another heart container. So that really sets us up to do bonk rocks, and all those locations are now open to our runners. Plus, they can now go to the back of a ski. And with the hammer, they can go through the front, the way the standard would be.
Yeah, James and Brewers definitely don't have enough money for that bottle vendor yet, so that could be interesting if they leave that behind. That's an easy one to forget about.
Yeah, I was playing a practice this morning, and I forgot about it, and it had the medallion required for Turtle Rock, and I looked everywhere for it.
Zelga wasting no time activating that flute.
And that gets us up to Death Mountain as well, and now easier check to the South Shore.
Yeah, that early flute is so nice to have just with maneuvering around the overworld. But they also have boots, so they really have all the mobility items that they could really want at this moment.
Yeah, it can't get much better than that. And if the library did have anything of value, you could get it right away. The only other better way to have Kakariko is to have found powder and a bottle, and then you could clear it all out in one.
Yeah, bottle vendor just a piece of heart, so that's not going to hurt any of our racers here today that weren't able to get it, but probably stick in the back of their minds for a while, not having that cash to check.
Yeah, for sure.
So far, just a heart piece in the dam. Looks like James might be going to do his last woods checks. I'm not sure why they're going this direction, but hey,
They need to check
each their own.
lumberjack also.
Yeah, probably gonna check lumberjack there.
Well, now that they have the boots, it's more. I see runners tend to check lumberjack once they get boots because then they know that they can get. Right, into Mini Moldorm Cave we go. I actually like the bomb strats better than using hammer, which is such a weird item to use on the Mini Moldorm.
Yeah, that hitbox and their movement pattern just makes it so chaotic to try and use hammer there.
So we got Ether,
Wow.
Heart Containers, and Hookshot. Ooh, does that make Death Mountain even more valuable? And unfortunately, because Brewers fan didn't check that area, he won't be able to go to East Death Mountain and really get his most value out of that.
Well, he has the mirror, so he
He has
can
the
grab
mirror.
that moon pearl right up there on Spectacle Rock. Seriously?
So that's Dark World access at 6.5 minutes.
Oh, getting an early Agena check from Illis.
Yeah, that nice rod cave. Oh, so we have 5-6 crystals at Pod and Turtle Rock. I missed the others. Just $50 inside Agina's cave.
I don't think any of them went to check Bonk Rock Shed either from this
No,
entry.
which is also kind of awkward.
Getting our first look at Hera from Brewers fan.
Oh, so we get the big key, so that's a really good item. Plus, he can mirror straight back to the start, and we're set at Death Orb.
Zelga seeing that moon pearl. We get the back of the castle check for Illis. Nothing exciting there.
Well, what it does tell him by getting the small keys, if he should find the map on his way, then there is an item in the back in the Dark Cross. But if he doesn't, then he can avoid the map if he, since he'll know that that's the item that's there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Having is very helpful. Zelka gonna give us a look over at Dark Death or Light Death Mountain, Paradox Cave.
Yeah. So, oh, there's Lamp. No more dark rooms for Zelgan.
Illis about to grab his mirror.
Looks like so far just rupees. Lots of them on top of Paradox Cave.
Well, at least the lamp does give us a fire source, so Paradox not completely useless at this moment.
Yeah, and he has his fire source for Hera if there is something in the basement. Brewers fan JP, clean fight against Trolldorm, and we'll get the Bloomerang, so no reason to go to the basement. As Ilias is going to check the escape route. Ooh,
Wow,
there is a
and
map.
that is our first crystal at 9 minutes in.
Looks like James is in looking at Dark Cross. We're trying to get to Dark Cross. Just 10 hours on Floating Island.
Well, let's see what Spiral Cave has for us.
And a much faster check with boots, that's for sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, without that sword, you can't really dash through the enemies like you would want to. But hey, boots in Spiral Cave is great.
For sure. All right, let's see what Zelda's chest has. So 10 arrows in Spiral Cave. Ooh, is that Fire Rod? I think that was Fire Rod.
Very nice.
So that makes an early Skull Woods check possible. I don't know how these runners feel with, although they have pretty good health at this point, but still no sword for Mothula, so that could still be an interesting hammer fight too on that.
Brewer's fan grabbing his lamp. Pretty much all he's going to get out of Paradox.
Yep. And Zelgana will face off against Trolldorm on his side. So Dark Rush just having 20 bucks. And I like that use of the mirror just to get right back to the castle start and not waste any time with saving and quitting.
Ellis remembering he didn't get that bottle vendor. It's always a good check, just so it's not in the back of your mind. When you think about it, just get it done.
Yeah. So far, James FX is the only one who has not checked Uncle because he does not have the mirror.
Ooh, sick kid with a sword today.
Ooh, that's going to be interesting. So there's our first sword. So we still don't know what's on Lumberjack, but at this point, that would be the only thing that would be required to do Aga, since we do have Dark World access.
Yeah, Zelga has not checked Uncle yet either. That's correct. Brewer's fan going right into the Dark World. Doesn't have that Fire Rod yet, so I imagine he's going to be doing Dark Cack first.
Yeah.
Zelga grabbing his sword. Nothing exciting on the chess game.
I like how they changed the chess game to be guaranteed. I don't like how it is in the vanilla game where it could take an hour just to get that piece of heart if you're trying to get 100%. So Brewer's fan JP is in Thieves Town, getting some new looks there. Zelganus is checking the back of this game. We'll have a little bit of an easier time that he has Lamp. So piece of heart item number 1. It's a good thing to have the hammer in Thieves Town so you can full clear it rather than having to worry about an item in the basement. Check.
Yeah, I think at this point, James and Zelga know that that mirror is somewhere in this overworld, so they're going to run out of places to check here soon. So I wouldn't be surprised seeing them both head to Uncle after this.
Yeah, it seems where Zelga's heading now. We'll see how long it takes for the rest of our runners to get to the Fire Rod, which is in Zelda's cell.
Yeah, it is interesting to have two pretty useful items in two locations that seem to be forgotten a lot lately here in the races. It seems to be one of the last places people check.
Yeah, I've been noticing that too.
Yeah, Zelga heading right back up to Death Mountain to grab his Moon Pearl. Unfortunately, not going through the castle, so that's going to cost him a fire rod for a while.
Yeah. He'll have to get back there at some point. So far, nothing to speak home about in Thieves Town.
Well, I think we're going to get our first look at Hype Cave.
Well, with the mirror, they can check Hype Cave along with South Shore together. So yeah, Green Pendant is on Thieves Town, so it's not a bad play for him to full clear it because he'll get that Green Pendant.
Yeah, so our pendants today being Desert Palace, Ice Palace, and Thieves Town, or yeah, Thieves Town with our green pendant. Hype Cave, so far, nothing fantastic.
Master Sword.
Oh, well, a Master Sword, that's not bad.
No, you do need at least 2 swords to beat the game, so that is important.
Looks like James is making that Hyrule Castle play.
And Brewers fan JP is going to fight blind. If you keep blind on script, it's one of the easier fights in the game. However, if he gets off script, then all bets are off. Heart piece at Old Stumpy. Nothing really to speak home about with Thieves Town. It is a green pendant, so we'll see what he gets, but nothing really in Thieves Town to give us progression.
And just a full heart in K45. I don't think any of the runners went to Ice Rod Cave either, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised because the last couple of seasons I've commentated, Ice Rod Cave had Bombos in one and the Flute in the other.
Ooh, we have Titans at the dig game.
Alright, so now you can do the whole Frog World Tour and Purple Chest easily, along with Hammer Pegs.
Oh, James went to the back of Hyrule Castle before doing Uncle, so has to set up that death warp there at Zelda's cell.
But he will have his Fire Rod. And now with the Dark World open to Brewers fan JP, I'm really concerned about him finding that Fire Rod because it's going to be a long time before he goes back that way.
Yeah, definitely. Same for Zelga. Just another bottle at the Hammer Pegs. Zelga does not want any extra safety. He's left a full heart in K45 and that extra bottle. Turning in the blacksmith though, so we'll get a chance to see what's there.
And now they can check King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge. They can do that with the Purple Chest if they desire to do that. But looks like Zelga's not going to do that.
James did indeed skip Uncle. Yeah, James is gonna run out of things to do here soon, because without that moon pearl, there isn't gonna be much they can do. Getting the Cane of Burna from the purple chest.
That's a nice item for Spike Cave, but realistically, it's just a slowdown. Although Zelga could think that Mira is behind Aga. Ooh, there's a bow and ice
very
rod cave.
nice.
So I'm wondering if Zelga, if he remembers Uncle, or is he going to run Aga? Because he can run Aga now and think that the Moon Pearl is on the pyramid.
He's gonna check Eastern.
I'm sorry, James, not Zelga. My bad. James is gonna. I wonder if he's gonna run Aga when he gets his 2 swords.
Yeah, he's not gonna be able to get into the tower anyway. He doesn't have that second sword or the.
Oh, right. You need 2 swords or the cape.
Yeah, it does find flippers though. Which unfortunately is just going to take him further and further from getting that mirror.
Yeah.
And so is the bow.
Yeah, because now he'll clear out Eastern. I like Zelga's routing because now he could put both Eastern and Pod into a 1-2 combination and get those 2 out of the way.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good feeling when you can route both of those in one clip. The bow was in Ice Rod Cave.
So Illis gets his Master Sword.
Brewers fan doing his South Shore cleanup. Probably going to head towards Eastern and Sahashala, turn in that green pendant, see what he gets off that.
Hopefully he doesn't forget Ice Rod Cave. That would be unfortunate for him to then miss 2 key items.
So far, just some bombs in Eastern. Very smooth bow strats from Zelga.
There's Samaria. Definitely going to be in this seed. So it looks like we found an ice rod in Eastern. One of the trolliest items to find.
Yeah, that ice rod's definitely going to be of value there. It's still not going to lead him away from checking Uncle, hopefully.
So green pendant, $50. Not what Brewers fan JP wanted to see. But he will get his flippers. Zelganus is fighting Helmosaur King. 17 hits to the face will break off the mask, and then a couple of hits with the bow if that's the way he goes. Looks like he's going spin strats.
He's doing hammer strats. Very nice.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah. Yeah, hammer strats on Helmosaur is a little difficult. This is very well executed. All for the map. Looks like he's going to have to head back in and go to the backup pod, although there's a lot of value in that Kana Samaria. So I definitely would call pod a win.
Yeah, for sure. And so Brewers fan JP did not get the bow. He will not be able to finish pod. So he's really leaving out a bunch of big locations. Back of his Zelda's chest in the escape route, and then Ice Rod Cave.
We do have progressive bows, so there is a chance that there might be a bow in the backup pod.
Oh, yeah, there could be. That's not bow lock, sure. Just more bombs so far. More small keys. So it looks like Zelgan is setting up for a King Zora check. Ooh, there's the book. Not really needed unless there's something on the tablets.
Yeah, we do have access over to the Misery Mire area as well.
Yeah, so we can full clear Misery Mire, assuming it is Ether.
And nothing else really exciting in pod.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, Kana Samaria gonna be required, so pod is definitely a good place to be. And now Zelgana is gonna get his Ice Rod. Still does not have the Fire Rod. Him and Brewers fan JP, neither one have the Fire Rod. Waterfall Wishing have just bombs, money.
Illis giving us our first look at Skullwoods.
So $20 on Zora's Ledge. Let's see what King Ripoff himself has. Oh, $50.
Yeah, Uncle has the mirror, and
trade.
our Moon Pearl is on top of Spectacle Rock. So that's why James is having a little bit of trouble there.
It looks like he's finally heading that direction, though.
Yeah, I don't think he has anything to do.
Did he check Bonk Rocks?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so that could have been... Well, this is the better play, but he could have checked Bonk Rock. So is Pet still alive? I believe the only items left are the medallions required for Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. So James is finally going to head up the mountain and get his moon pearl.
Yeah, no one has checked that Misery Mire area yet, or Dark Death Mountain. So we do have those pendants kind of depending on when our go mode will be engaged. We kind of have a good idea where everything is. The only thing we don't have knowledge of are the pendants of the medallions.
Yeah, that's the only thing we need now. Knowing where Fire Rod, Ice Rod, Cane of Samaria, Bow. And Zelga's going to play Ring Around the Armos Knights.
Gonna get our first look at the pod air or the Misery Mire area, just a heart piece on the desert ledge. Zelga grabbing his third crystal.
I think that was Quake.
Ooh, I thought it was Bombos. I could be wrong.
I just saw the squiggly line, but if chat's saying it is Bombo, so I will yield to them.
Nothing exciting in the Mire Shed.
Looks like Ice Palace is a crystal. Did I miss that? Is Ice Palace a crystal or a pendant?
I thought it was a pendant. I could be wrong. Now I'm like second guessing myself. Yeah, Ice Palace is a crystal. Swamp Palace is a pendant.
Yeah. Oh, Zelda forfeited?
That might have just been a mistake.
I doubt it. Yeah, I'm hoping.
Our tracker sometimes likes to eat inputs, and it's very easy to hit that button.
Yeah.
I can get that fixed. Hold on.
So the key on the torch, as Zelda is heading into Desert Palace. So now we know that we will need Bombos. And then whatever the mire, the medallion is for Turtle Rock. Chat wanting Bombos on Ped.
Yeah, it is looking like Lumberjack was just a shield, so that means Aga 1 is dead, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
So the best you could hope for would be a pedestal seed, and we are slowly running out of things that it could be. As of right now, Bombos would be what we do not want to see there. Unless you want a ped seed, then you want to see Bombos there.
Yeah. Or Quake. We haven't seen Quake, and if Quake is required for Turtle Rock, so it could be one of those.
We do still have a lot of checks that are open. We have Dark Death Mountain with Super Bunny and Hookshot and all that other fun stuff too.
Hammer. We also have Spike Cave. So yeah, there's a lot of options still. So Zelganus and Brewers Fan JP are gonna run out of locations at some point without that fire rod.
I'm wondering, since we got everything so early for Turtle Rock, if that is where progression is going to be. If it's Ether to open that, we already have everything we need to clear it.
For sure. And it could be Bombos on Laser Chest.
Yep.
Laser Bridge, rather.
I mean, I think as far as item density goes, Dark Death Mountain is pretty accessible with everything they have, and plus that knowledge of what Turtle Rock is would be very valuable.
Oh, for sure. The scary thing is that if Turtle Rock is Ether, Zelgan could check at least the first chest inside of Turtle Rock, thinking that the fire rod could be.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, that placement of the fire rod for Zelga.
And for Brewers.
Oh, yes, as well. Yes.
But unfortunately for Brewers, he's also missing Ice Rod Cave for his bow. So he's missing 2 critical locations. And it looks like Zelga is going to be going up to Dark Death Mountain. So we'll get a check there.
Desert really not having anything exciting.
So Zelga is going to check. He's going to go through Turtle Rock's portal to get to the Dark World, and then he'll check his Super Bunny Cave and Hookshot Cave. And we'll also get the final of what Turtle Rock's medallion is.
Smario was in pod. He was the only one with bow when they went in there.
It is Ether.
Wow.
So Bombos for no mode, technically, is all we need now. And I'm willing to bet that Zelgan is going to go inside of Turtle Rock and check, potentially, after he checks all of his Dark Death Mountain checks of Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave. Because if he won't find, but he's hoping to find Fire Rod here so he could just clear out Turtle. There's Cape. And if the key, I've seen it before on other races that I've watched and not commentated, where the keys were set up in such a way within Turtle Rock that you could get all the way to Laser Bridge without the Fire Rod. Fire Rod is in Zelda's chest.
Yeah, Zelga really needs that fire rod. I mean, needs that fire rod locked chest to have the compass and the map. That's really his only hope.
Yeah, because if it has a small key, he can go deeper inside the Turtle Rock. Oh boy. It's a small key, he can keep going.
don't believe anyone has checked Spike Cave yet either.
No. I think I would. Well, I mean, there's no really. This is your only easy chance to get Spike Cave at this point. It looks like Alice is going to head there. He does not have the ice rod. He didn't get the bow at Ice Palace. I mean, not Ice Rod Cave. Oh, thankfully that was the big key, so that is where Zelda must stop.
But he can't do Ice Palace. Well, I hope he doesn't end up doing Thieves' Town.
It looks like he's heading towards Spike Cave.
Yeah, those Lionels can be brutal.
Yeah.
Illa's about to get his bow.
Well, hopefully the back of Escape will remind Bruce and JP that he didn't check the front of Escape, and he'll be getting his Fire Rod, which will at least get him back on track with everybody else. He will still be missing the bow, but there is another bow somewhere out there, so he could find the bow elsewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And
Like an
Hobo
Ice
did
Palace.
not have anything exciting. I believe it was bombs, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, and the powder on the pyramid.
So Brewers fan JP saving and quitting.
That's interesting. I thought he was going to go to Catfish there.
He's not checking. Well, he's getting the free fill, but I'm wondering if he will now go back to the cast. He is not. He's going to Ice Rod Cave. He will get his bow.
Well, interestingly enough, the Zora check has been put up for a long time because this has really been a very impoverished seed. We haven't had very many 300 rupees. I think maybe one that we've seen. So the late Zora check doesn't surprise me for any of the runners.
No. And
Just
Magic
a
not
green
having
rupee
a
on
single green rupee.
We do have access to that book, though, on Zelga's side. I'm not sure if he had checked Hylia Island and knows it's there, but that would be interesting as well. Now he knows it's there. And James remembering to check Sick Kid, getting his Master Sword.
Yeah, that if he had forgotten. Well, he hadn't had the chance to be back inside Kakariko, so this is his first chance. So.
Illa's going to go ahead and take care of Pod and Eastern.
Where he will get his Ice Rod. I hope Brewers fan JP is not heading towards Swamp, but that is where it looks like he's headed.
I mean, there are a lot of items in Swamp, even though it is a pendant. It's a lot of items.
It is, and for his, I mean, what? Well, I don't want to. Oh, he's going to maybe go back to Pod and Eastern first. That makes more sense. But I was gonna say if he's hoping to find Fire Rod there. Or he can make
he's
me
getting
look like
the
complete fool and get the book.
Ah, there it is.
As I said, make me look like a complete fool, which is awesome, and get the book. Ooh. portal's not working nice for him.
I mean, and to be fair, no play is a bad play until it is. You know,
Yeah,
every gamble you take isn't bad until it doesn't pay off.
yeah, I've definitely seen that. And there's no really wrong move to make. It's just wrong for this particular seed.
Exactly. I think Zelga is going to exhaust all of his possibilities for the fire rod in the crystal dungeons before he starts doing those pendant dungeons. Gonna get a ped check, I'm sure, though.
Yeah, he has the book and is in the location. You're not going to get a better chance to check pad.
And for all intents and purposes, he could think the fire rod is on ped, which could be a possibility.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like that's where he's going. He's going to check pad. So, chat, get your hype up for ped, because the only thing that it could read that could help us is bombos.
And it is not going to read that because Brewers fan just got bombos from our friend the catfish.
Oh, so that's everything we need to know. So now the question is when is Brewers fan JP gonna go get his fire rod? And then he could full clear everything and he will get his Kana Samaria. So the runners are all in very good positions right now. They just need to get Zelgan and Brewers need to get to back of to Zelda's chest to get the fire rod.
Item placement has been very, very interesting in this seed, where it seems that really crucial items have been placed in spots that people have kind of gotten in the habit of skipping, like Uncle Zelda's chest, catfish. Those are all very out of the way checks. And so I think a lot of our runners have gotten comfortable with making those gambles and skipping those. And unfortunately, it's going to cost a lot of time for them to get back and do those really easy checks.
And the scary thing is now Brewers fan JP, he's heading towards Ice Palace because he can full clear it. Not a bad thing. It is a crystal. You do need to, but he's not going to find the fire rod in there.
James is going to get his Cane of Samaria here. That's going to put him in a really nice spot. Unfortunately, didn't take Jeremiah up to Catfish when he had the opportunity when he checked the pyramid. So that's going to cost him a little bit of time there as well. Just $20 on top of Bonk Rocks.
So yeah, with the knowledge of bombos now and knowing what the runners are missing on both sides, we have to just, and as you mentioned before, the check to catfish isn't any better now that the World Tour, the Frog, and the Purple Chest are done. It's just now even harder to route them in.
Yeah, that catfish check is just so far out of the way, and since almost all of our runners have done the Zora check early, it kind of even puts it off more. It's just that one item, and kind of don't want to go out of your way for that.
Yeah, so hopefully at some point, I mean, he's going to finish the seed, that Brewers fan JP and Zelda go back and check Zelda's chest and get that fire rod.
Yeah, I think Zelga is going to check that tablet before he takes his dip into Swamp, but I feel like that's where he's headed.
Yeah. Knowing he can't really clear very much else. He can't get into Ice Palace, so yeah, he's gonna go into Swamp.
Although he could pull out a sword and silvers, which is going to cost him time to do that check. But over the other runners, if they end up without getting another sword or those silvers, he could make up time just with equipment. Grabs
Yeah.
that mail upgrade, which isn't really going to help him. Does have, 12 hearts already, so that's not as significant, but it's still something more than the other runners got.
Yeah, and silvers and tempered will make Ganon so much easier. Silverless Master Sword is the hardest of all the fights with Ganon.
It's just gross.
It is. It's what, 24 spins on each cycle?
On the first and the last, and then the 4 spins to get in. Oh, there's a sword in Ice Palace. So that puts Brewer's Fan in a good position because I feel like when the other runners go to Ice Palace, they are going to be doing it in go mode, so they're not going to get that sword.
Yeah, probably not.
And there is a sword in Swamp Palace.
Oh, interesting. So we now know where all the swords are. Hopefully, after he finishes Ice Palace, Brewers Fan JP does go back and check the castle, but we'll see. And Illis is doing his ring around the Armos Knights.
I just worry. I feel like putting off the castle to this point, you're almost an hour into the seed, that you're going to end up last locationing Hyrule Castle. You've kind of written it off as not having value already, so you're kind of not going to commit to that play until it's your last option.
Yeah. Well, now same with Catfish too. So you have Catfish and Hyrule Castle that now have the important items that our runners are missing on both sides, on all 4 corners.
Our single arrow of destiny in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, that's the arrow you need to beat Ganon. It's the most important arrow of the game.
Oh, grabbing that big key. I wouldn't be surprised to see Zelda come in and do left side. I think he's going to come back in and do left side.
Yeah, which is going to cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, just by that play of not going back to check that big chest, he's already committed to doing that left side after he beats Argus.
Now down goes Cold Stare. So that's his 3rd crystal. I'm going to guess that for Brewers Fan, he'll probably do Pod and Eastern next, since he can full clear them. And then while he's doing that, hopefully he'll remember that he didn't go in to do the castle.
The one thing that Zelda did not need to see in Swamp was a fetch quest. Although it is the mushroom, so that might take him towards Catfish.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if any item is going to do it, powder or mushroom is the key item. So, and we're gonna probably see Illis full clear TR while he's here, because he does have Fire Rod and Ice Rod.
I don't know, Eddie. He could very possibly skip that. However, I feel like with him doing this commitment to Swamp Palace, that he's okay with doing the long checks at this point because he kind of feels a little bit behind. So might go ahead and route in that catfish just to get the check out. Catfish has had value the last few, dailies and even the weeklies. There was Hookshot one time and I forget what else, but catfish has been a little bit more valuable lately, so it might be on his mind that he needs to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, Shim. That we could possibly find are the silvers at this point, since we do know where all the sword locations are. We do know where one of the meal upgrades are, as well as another shield, which we're not going to get. So there's really nothing else that our players could get from any of these checks.
I'm really surprised with having Bow that Brewers fan JP didn't head over to Pod and Eastern, because there's more items he can clear. Plus, it's 2 crystals. He did. I mean, unless he's hoping to find Fire Rod here.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Oh, he's
Guess
checking
just trying to
pad.
see gambles.
He's gonna check pad. Oh. Yeah, he's gonna check pad.
I don't think Zelga has checked Pyramid either, so those might be the checks that he's going to do after this. Turning in the mushroom, fluting to 5, getting in the dark world, checking Pyramid and Catfish. Or completely doing none of that and going to Thieves Town.
Yep. He's gonna bet on that green pendant. The longer and longer he neglects, he has 2 locations he must get to. He needs that Fire Rod, and he needs to get Bombos up at Catfish, as are the rest of the runners too. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, Brewers fan JP is back where Sanctuary is. He's going to check King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge while he's here. If he's going to check Castle Tower, Hyrule Castle, this is probably going to be his next best chance, unless he goes to Pyramid and is able to do it from there. So I'm gonna guess that Brewers fan JP, yeah, he looks like he might. I was gonna say he looked like he was gonna go to. He might still go to Pyramid and mirror there and check the inside of Hyrule Castle. And this is probably his last chance to remember that he didn't do it. It's right here.
There's a 300 rupee on Laser Bridge. Wow.
Yeah, that
Where
powder
are our
is going to send him in the wrong
selfies?
direction. Maybe now he's going to go back and do Pod and Eastern. But his grand opportunity to finish and get that castle check is gone now that he's away from the pyramid. I feel like anytime you leave a Sphere 1, Sphere 0 location open in Hyrule Castle, being one of those, it really tends to burn the runners more often than not.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is with Zelda, while he does have those important items in very, very truly locations, their execution is always on point. So even though they look behind, I wouldn't count them out because I've seen Zelda come from, being stuck in a situation like this and turn around and finish first place on the restream. So it is, making good choices is very important in Rando. However, you can definitely tell when execution comes into play and how you might be behind, but just knowing the game and practicing, certain boss fights and routing and things like that, it definitely does come into play.
Oh, for sure. So I wonder where Alice is gonna go next, because he can full clear Ice Palace if he so desires, which I'm gonna guess is his next location, since he flew to 8. And more logical than doing Swamp, but I'm gonna guess after this he's gonna go do Swamp Palace. But first he's gonna get the book, or at least see that the book is there, and then he'll full clear ice and looking for Bombos. Won't find it, but will get a sword upgrade.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how the runners route from here on out.
For sure. So Illis and James are just missing Bombos, where Zelgan is missing Fire Rod and Bombos, and Brewer's Fan just missing Fire Rod. So down goes Helmasaur King, and he will go and take care of Eastern.
Fire Rod is in Zelda's cell, and Bombos is on Catfish. Like two of the worst places for Go Mode items to be.
Zelgan just found out that he will need Bombos. We'll probably head into desert. I didn't see. Did Zelgan ever get the big key? Oh, he did. Okay. I was worried that he didn't get the big key and he was heading to the back without the big key.
Well, at least he's not going to go and check Ped, because he does know that's already dead.
Yeah.
Nah, there's nothing on Ped.
That is one of our other 300 rupees. And Brewers fan JP doing his ring around the Armos Knights.
Where is Zelda going?
Dark. Did he do Dark Death Mountain?
He did.
Spike Cave? Spike Cave, it looks like. Or Ether Tablet.
Ether tablet. There you go. Yeah.
And now with Bombos, Brewers fan JP is going to continue without the fire rod, but he's going to go in and clear Misery Mire.
Including the 4. He's going to get his fire rod. This actually could be really good routing for Zelga. He's going to get in the Dark World, check Pyramid, Mirror, do Escape, and then probably check Catfish.
Unless he's totally forgotten that he didn't do it. He might have thought he did it already, so he may not. Because Brewers fan JP was in the same situation, didn't do it. So I'm just wondering if now they've written it off, like you had said earlier, and they just won't do it until it's the absolute last thing that they could do. And I believe for
This
Zelgan,
is his absolute last.
Yeah. Well, no, because that powder is going to could send him on the wrong track too. Is he going to mirror? Yeah. So yeah, he's going to do Escape now, so he'll get his fire rod.
Brewers fan giving us our first look at Misery Mire. So far, just a full heart piece.
But yeah, I think Brewers fan JP has missed every opportunity to go back into to Hyrule Castle at this point. I don't know if until he's out of locations, which will be after he clears this, because he still can't do Turtle Rock. Although he could full clear Swamp first, that would probably make more sense to him. So full clear Swamp, not get anything, and then eventually he'll head back to the Escape, hopefully. I'm wondering if Zelgan is gonna take his fire rod and leave and not do Catfish, because that will allow him to do what he hasn't been able to do, which is Ice Rod, Turtle Rock, which have a lot more locations than Catfish. And he is fluting away, so he's not gonna head to Catfish, it looks like, at least right now.
And there's Bombos for Illis.
So Illis is in go mode, first one. now he will go mode every dungeon from here on out, and hopefully he'll at least potentially check where and get the tempered sword. I don't remember which chest it was in. If it was on the way, one of the chests you will check, but certainly he is not going to be looking for any other items at this point.
Yeah, he has tempered already, so he's
He
in
does.
good
Okay.
shape. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he'll definitely then not be doing anything else while he's here.
Yeah, he got the tempered
from Swamp.
No, from Ice Palace. I'm not sure why he didn't finish it. He must have died.
Oh, maybe. Chat saying he died.
That's like the worst boss to die on. Cold Stare and Viddy suck to die on.
Yeah. And now that he's in go mode, he can just make this bomb jump and then skip the rest of Ice Palace with that bomb jump. So, Brewers Fan JP, where are you going next? Oh, it looks like he might be heading towards Turtle Rock, perhaps? Or
Silver's
Spiky.
on Viddy is like the most obnoxious thing to see.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, so he's going to check Ether Tablet.
I mean, overall, with the trolley locations that our seed had for us, our players have definitely done a great job.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's definitely not for a lack of execution. They have all done beautifully on their boss fights and routing the palaces and everything. So just that catfish kind of being the major troll of the entire seed.
Yep, for all three, for now, two of the runners left, and still Fire Rod at large for Brewers Fan. He doesn't know that it's in Zelda's cell.
Yeah, our second bow was on Vitreous.
So that means no Silverless Ganon, which is good for these runners. Make fast Ganon. As Illis will head into Misery Mire. All right, so Brewers fan JP doing everything he can inside Turtle Rock, stops because he can't go any further. And now the question is, where does he go next? James FX, full clearing Ice Palace, as Zelga will as well, and Illis in Go mode in Misery Mire. Has almost every heart container you can get, only missing 3.
And I think left the full one on
Yeah,
K45.
so that's one of them, and then maybe the rest were heart pieces. I don't remember at this point, but he's 3 short of full health, which is interesting. All right, so into the back of Mire for Illis. He will get his silvers and then go straight to GT.
So as soon as Vitreous is down, you guys in chat know what to do. Give us a number between 1 and 22 where you think that big key is going to be. Very nice spooky action glitch from Illis.
Yeah, chat, wait till the boss goes down before you start guessing. Wait till the 4 arrows hit. All right, chat, you may go now.
So let's see where that big key will be today.
Brewers fan JP is finally doing Hyrule Castle. He will be in Go mode. And all we'll have to do is Skull Woods, the back, and TR. And I expect a few extra bombs for that chest in the back of Zelda's chest from Brewers fan JP, because he'll know that he's very far behind at that point.
Yeah, that's not going to be a good feeling.
No, it never is. All right, so now Brewers fan JP enters Go mode, so he'll go to the back of Skull Woods and then go up to do TR. James and Zelgana still without bombos. And by Zelga's routing right now, it looks like he's going to head over to TR.
And at a time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 56 seconds, Illis enters Ganon's Tower.
and head to the right. Chest number 1, small key. Chest number 2, fire shield. He's continuing left. I wonder if he's going to go full right, or if he's going to go right left.
I wouldn't
20
see him
bucks.
going full right.
$20. Triple bombs. Hurt piece. Getting his mirror out to get that small key. So we are up to chest number 7 now. Small key on the torch. R.I.P. Bob. Alright, into the skeleton room. 8, $20. 9, shovel. 10, $20. 11, $20.
No, full right is when you get the key and continue on till you get to Bob's room and ice normals.
So that was, I believe that was 12, which is a heart
Yep.
piece. This will be chest 13. Small key.
Will it be in the random room?
It certainly could be. $14, $20. 15, compass. 16, heart piece. 17, there's Quake. Bombos was at Catfish.
James is going to go in the swamp.
Not a bad play, just not the right one for this seed. Bob's chest, $20. Looks like it could be vanilla. Into the second round against the Armos Knights. $19, $300. 20, 21. It is in.
Oh my gosh.
It is in tile room. It will be on chest number 22.
It looks like the cool guy gets number 22 first. So you are our winner today.
Yay, congratulations. He could be doing this much easier if he used Cape. Not draining his magic. And now Ilias will begin his trek up the tower. Oh, Zelda runs out of magic.
Oh, that feels terrible.
Oh. Oh, that's gonna hurt. And he didn't take the safety door either, I don't believe. No, he did not. Alright, so now at least he found magic early a little bit, so he will get back to Laser Bridge and get his full magic right before the fight with Trinex as Ilias enters the gauntlet.
Last mail upgrade has to be at the top of the tower. I'm pretty sure we've seen everything else.
I believe.
Oh, wait, no, Zelga has red mail.
Yeah. I don't remember where it was.
I know blue mail, his blue mail was on Bombos? No, yeah.
Yeah, I believe there was a mail upgrade on Bombo's tablet. If memory serves correct. Alright, into the Wizard room. Bruce and JP heading to his Trinex fight. Second Wizard room dead. He's flying.
Yeah, so Brewers Fan and Illis are only two runners in Go mode.
Yeah. Now, I'm wondering if, because of how late Brewers Fan JP found that fire out, if he gambles and goes tile room first. I don't know if runners tend to do that, but considering how late he found it, he must know he's behind it, so I'm wondering if he takes that gamble. So for Zelganus, I don't, other than Catfish, I'm not sure what he has left. Oh, he's gonna do, oh, he can't do Pyramid Fairy because the red crystals were Misery Mire and Turtle Rock, I believe.
I thought it was Pod and Turtle Rock.
If that's the case, then he'll do that. I thought it was. So Illis heading up to the Geometry Wizard. If you did well in Geometry class, you should do well in this fight. That's a double. Another double. Down goes Aga 2. On to fight Ganon. into Ganon.
And Zelga finally making that plate of catfish.
Yeah, I believe he's checked pretty much everything else. I don't think he has anything else really to check. So, and he's gonna have a bomb to throw at catfish afterward, I'm sure. As Illis enters phase 3, it's almost done with phase 3 of Ganon. As Zalganus now enters go mode. 1 hour, 31 minutes.
And I feel like this is as good a time as any to remind you, if you enjoy what you're seeing here, be sure to support your local runner and give them a follow, give them a cheer, tell them how much you appreciate them putting themselves on display for today. And as always, big thanks to Speed Gaming, our trackers, our restreamer, and my fellow co-commentator.
As Illis finishes Ganon, get your GGs in chat for Illis. He finishes first on our restream. Bruce Van JP right behind him.
And Zelga is now in Misery Mire, just finishing up the last dungeon he has to do before heading to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, and luckily it was a God Mire, so he'll get through it quickly.
And we are joined by Illis. GG's.
Yeah, GG's, Illis.
GG.
So just
what'd you
about
think?
all of your Go mode items were in completely trolly places.
Yeah, I somehow managed to get all of them. Like, for example, I don't really like skipping escapes, so I kind of do it early-ish, and I got rewarded with that. But Catfish Bombos, I mean, I kind of planned to go to Catfish anyway after Turtle Rock, so it wasn't too bad. And what else? What else was I missing most of the time? Oh yeah, the bow. Oops.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of the really important items were kind of in the trolliest places that you would expect to see them, like the mirror on Uncle with Moon Pearl on Spectacle Rock, the bow that was in Ice Rod Cave because you couldn't get the other one because it was on Vidi. And it was very interesting how this seed played out, because all of those areas that the runners have grown to kind of avoid and, you know, take those gambles on not doing was very, very important in the seed. And it wasn't just one, it was all of them.
Well, I still ended up taking some gambles. Like, I planned to skip Right Side of Ice Palace with 2 chests. I've skipped Vanilla Big Key chest and Eastern Palace. I just did the right skips this time, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely paid off. It was really bizarre for chat and us commentators kind of being in no mode less than an hour into the seed, so it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I was actually kind of glad to find that Bombos and Catfish, because then I figured people would skip Fire Rod for a lot longer. And yeah, if Bombos had been on the way, it would have probably not been such a decent performance, I guess. Well, despite my cold status.
Yeah, I definitely think that Bombos being in the location it was did troll the runners a little bit more than it would had Ice Rod not been in the castle.
Well,
Sorry,
Fire Rod
had
was in the
Fire Rod
castle.
not been in the castle.
Yeah.
Ice Rod was in Eastern. Sorry.
In the mid game, when I was checking several overworld spots, I was kind of expecting this to become an Ice Rod hunt, and then I was pretty surprised to find it just in Eastern Palace. I was a bit bummed because I figured that it might be a jet seed, and that people would finish a lot quicker. But yeah, there were all those trolley locations that kind of kept me in the game, I think.
Well, the tile room having the big key was pretty gross too.
That's true, but you can kind of see it that way. If someone with a bit worse execution than me enters GT beforehand, and we both have to do all of GT, then I might make up some time, right?
Oh, for sure. Brewers fan JP is now in the gauntlet. And Zelgan is in GT.
Zelga immediately going to the left. I'm not sure how many other places James has that he can check at this point.
Well, he's back at Thieves Town. Did he not clear Thieves Town when he was here? Because it's he didn't clear Thieves Town, so he could do that. He could do Swamp Palace.
He did Swamp Palace.
Oh, he did. No, he did Skull Woods. He didn't do Swamp.
He has
It's not
Gold
his
Sword.
track. Oh, he does. Oh, okay. So am I again?
Yeah, and I saw him in Left Side Swamp a couple of minutes ago.
Oh, so it just might have gotten eaten. So yeah, I guess after this he'll do Green Pendant. He knows it's not Pet Seed. So maybe Catfish after this? Brewers fan JP just about to enter his Moldorm 2 fight. And his Aga 2. Zelgan is heading to the Armos Knights.
Oh, just missing that Armos.
So Brewers fan JP enters Aga 2. Gets a double. And a second double. Misses there. Down goes Agatu. On to fight Ganon. As James FNX takes down Blind and earns his green pen. Bruce Fan JP into Ganon. On to phase 2. James checking Lumberjack.
Yeah, that catfish troll is really costing poor James here.
Yeah. As Brewers Fan is just about to get into phase 4, gets his first silver arrow of the Ganon, gets the torch glitch, gets a double, almost a triple on Ganon. Down goes Ganon for Brewers Fan JP. Get your GGs and chat for Brewers Fan JP, finishing second on the restream. As he crosses the finish line, 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 41 seconds. Zelgan is now in the gauntlet. And it looks like he's finally heading over to Catfish.
Finally making that play.
So he will enter go mode as Zelgan continues up the tower.
And now we have go mode for James.
And thankfully it's a god miner for him, so it won't take him very long to get up to GT.
And we are joined in the booth by Brewers Fan. GG.
GG, buddy.
Thank you.
GG.
So how did you feel about it?
Fire rod.
I don't know, the fire rod, I should have had that earlier. Like, literally when I was on the pyramid getting the powder, my plan right after that was to mirror and check escape. And I didn't because as I'm getting powder, I realize I miscounted my items in pod. So I go back there and find the Cane of Samaria, which throws me off for a little longer.
Yeah, there definitely was some very interesting routing choices given where the location of progression items were. So, I mean, you certainly weren't the only one that was kind of hung up on that Fire Rod and Bombos for the most part. I believe you had Bombos pretty early, though.
I believe you had Bombos first. I don't know.
Yeah.
All the runners on the restream.
Yeah, I kind of almost lucked into that. I guess, I don't know if it's luck, but I guess it kind of works in my routing because I was just going to go check Zora anyway, and I felt I wanted to route in the catfish at the same time, so that just paid off, I guess. Seems like, though, the correct decision in this seed was to not dip a pendant dungeon, even though all three of them were very appealing.
Yeah, Pendant Dungeons really had nothing. That was actually when you were in, going back to Pyramid, I mentioned it to the broadcast that it was your best chance to route in Escape at that point, but then I said that you might hope that you wouldn't be thrown off by the powder, but didn't realize that you mischecked your items in pod.
Yeah, basically, the second I realized I miscounted my item,
Breaded is fine.
Yeah, I mean, early on this seed, I've actually felt started really well. Like, I felt my early route really went well, and it just kind of devolved into this point where I was just going from place to place and not finding anything.
Yeah. Well, you did well.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get mad when it's more the seeds. You just make the wrong call. But and I've been hoping for a better performance going into with the tournament going into the group stage. I'm still kind of looking for that. But
yeah. Well, it's better to get your rust off in an open, non-tournament seed than in a tournament seed where you could get eliminated in that way. So much better to get the mistakes.
And get your GGs in the chat for Zelga, finishing at 148.28.
James is heading towards GT at this point. And we're joined by Zelganess. GG.
Hey, GG, thank you.
GG Zelga.
Yeah, it was certainly GG's, but you guys nailed it at least. So yeah, I just went back and checked my VOD real quick. At 29 minutes and some change, all I needed was Fire Rod and Bombos. And it took me probably another 45 to 50 minutes before I found either one of them. And then finding Fire Rod led me away from Bombos. So that's pretty much the story of the whole seed.
Yeah, the item placement was for sure interesting in this scene.
Yeah, you weren't the only runner that was trolled by that.
I think if I had done Escape before the mountain, I would have absolutely gone in and got the Fire Rod. But when I go and I see the Moon Pearl on the mountain, and then I start to do Escape, and the Uncle area has the mirror, I don't feel bad about neglecting the Escape in that scenario. It's just really unfortunate that this is the scenario that it caused. But like I said, no real regrets. It's just kind of funny thinking about how free the seed could have been, and then how very much it wasn't because of the choices I made.
So I'll ask both Bruce and Zalganus, what do you guys think of Tile Room having Big Key?
For me, it was actually kind of expected, just given how trash this was for me. I almost went straight to Tile Room in the first place, but I don't typically make that play, so I wasn't going to this time.
Yeah, same. I mean, if it's in Tile Room, most likely everybody is gonna get it last, beyond maybe a couple people who take that chance. It's a tough play to make because it's a lost minute if you go for it. So it's just better just to keep routing as much as you can. Yeah, going off what Zelga said, this was a potentially really free seed if you avoided the pendant dungeons, which, like I said, they were very tempting. Like, it was like just how they were. I think they were all open within 30 minutes of the seed, so there was just a lot of temptation there. Like, I don't regret either of my two dips. I at least avoided swamp. You know, I didn't mind dipping all of Thieves because so much was in the back. Plus, I hadn't done Saharsla yet, so that one made sense. And Desert's always quick, so. But yeah, definitely interesting because of that.
I like how the seed gave you guys pretty much Dark World access within like 10 or 15 minutes with Moon Pearl, Hammer, gloves, everything you guys needed for Dark World access really fast.
Yeah, like, this seed started so well. Like, I had my Dark World access essentially at 7 minutes, and I had my first crystal at 9. So, you know, it felt good to start, and then just went down from there.
Yeah, it definitely had a really nice start in regards to mobility as well. Like, it gave you the flute and the boots pretty quickly. So it was like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of nice. And then, you know, both gloves. So you didn't even have to worry about using the hammer glove combination to get into the Dark World. It was very nice in the very beginning, but then hiding those fire items in two pretty trolly locations kind of really did it for a lot of people, unfortunately. But it was really neat to see all of those often forgotten locations, like the ones that are avoided, like Zelda's Cell, Catfish, Ice Rod Cave with that bow, kind of being really important. So that was really neat that they all kind of converged, and every trolley place you try to avoid ended up having your progression.
Yeah, for me, it's particularly funny because I've been on the restream a lot in the last week. Wednesday, I hard last location Titan's Mitts for Go mode on Catfish. Friday, I got a bow on Catfish at almost my last location that locked what I needed. And now, this time, the only other check I had before Catfish, which had my Go mode, was the Magic Bat. So I think the game's pretty much telling me maybe I should look into doing Catfish more often.
I didn't say it out loud, but I did think that I was tracking for you, and it was that your Go mode was on Catfish, or it was really close to your Go mode item on Catfish. And I was thinking, was that Zell guy I was tracking for when that happened? So I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, that's the nature of the game. Like, I try not to adjust my routing off of one bad experience, but this is like 3 in a row that maybe I should rethink my Dark World routing a little bit.
Well, especially when you're doing the Blacksmith's Chain and you're doing Pyramid and that route, it certainly makes the most sense to route in Catfish while you're doing all that.
Yeah, if the Fire Rod hadn't unlocked 3 dungeons that were crystals, I would have gone ahead to Catfish at that moment. Like, if it was just Bombos, and I probably would have gone on to Catfish. But since it was Fire Rod, I was like, I better be moving.
Well, that mirror was a last location for a couple of our runners too, with it being on Uncle. And then, you know, the Saha Shirala check then gave you the flippers that opened up like the whole Zora, the hobo, the waterfall of wishing, and all that. So that was kind of funny. I was like, wow, every single thing that could take these runners away from places they need to be has happened in this seed. Like when you did the dip in Swamp Palace, you ended up with the mushroom. I'm like, oh, another fetch quest. When you check the pyramid, there was the powder. Oh, a fetch quest. You know, it just kept seeming to try and take you away from everywhere you needed to be. It was really interesting.
Yeah,
And then, of course, the big key in chest 22.
yeah. There's not much I could say, especially seeing this collection rate of mine coming up on the stream. That just kind of describes this seed for me.
I mean, your execution was on point, though. I mean, you almost full cleared the entire game, and you're still sub 2. I think that's very impressive and definitely something to be very, very proud of.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I feel my execution was pretty good, minus the Trinex fight that somehow got super away from me. It's been a long time since that happened. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the only thing I had left outside of Ganon's Tower before go mode would have been the Magic Bat. And then obviously we got the shovel in there. If I wasn't on the restream, I probably would have gone and done Magic Bat and shovel before even continuing on to the actual Ganon fight, just on principle.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this was. I mean, for the most part, my execution was alright. I need to, honestly, one of my biggest things, I need to calm myself down more in GT. I've been on tilt the last couple times. This one, I don't know what happened in that torture room. Like, that got away from me, and that's, like, so weird. But I've definitely been feeling tilt at times lately. I need to get out of that in GT. That was probably my biggest execution mistake. And then, like I said, miscounting in pod, that kind of hurt too. Because, you know, I got the bow, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go back to Easterner pod because I at that point I thought it was just like a dungeon item on the boss. Completely forgot I hadn't checked right side pod. Yeah, I don't know, like even with getting that, if I got some iron earlier, I don't know how much it really changes. I probably still clear as much as I do, so it's really tough to say.
At least you didn't die to codes there.
Yeah, Ice Palace was a little disappointed it didn't come in with a required item. I was at least happy to get some upgrades out of it. But yeah, Cold Stare can get away from you pretty quick if you're not if you let it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna step away and kind of rest now. But thanks for the commentary, GG to the other runners, and have a good night.
All right, buddy.
Good luck.
Good night.
GG's.
As we wait on James FNX to finish GT, he is just in the torch room now. He was the last of our runners on Restream to get Bombos. And James now heading up to Aga 2. And then we'll go to Ganon.
I think I'll be leaving now. Well, GG, and thanks for the commentary. See you
GG's.
next time. Yep.
Yep,
Um,
GG's. Thanks for
like
stopping
that.
in to chat.
It's always a pleasure. See ya, guys.
See ya. And Aga 2 down. Now on to fight off Ganon. With Butter Sword, Silvers, this fight should be relatively quick. He's already into phase 3.
Yeah, having a really nice fight. Has that butter sword, so definitely not going to have a problem here.
Gets the torch glitch. And a double. And down goes Ganon for James FNX. Get your GGs in chat. Finishes with an official time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 14 seconds. And we are joined by James GG's.
Yeah, GG's. Well, G's at least.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a rough seed for everybody. Missing out on Fire Rod, Bombos. For the longest time for you, Bombos was your go mode item, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, what were your overall thoughts of the seed?
I'm not sure how I would be able to route that and not orphan catfish. But I was pretty tilted after going into Skullwoods and then remembering I didn't have a sword halfway through, and then kind of forcing myself to commit to if I would need to find a sword there to make up the lost time, and it wasn't there.
Yeah, I guess the best time, if there is any, to route catfishing is when you do the Jeremiah World Tour. bringing him up to Catfish after checking Pyramid would probably have been your best bet.
Yeah, it's
But
such
you don't
a
know
long
that.
walk.
Yeah, it is. But you guys had boots early, so you guys could have just jetted over there real fast.
Yeah, in hindsight. Having boots and flippers and just kind of just orphaning Catfish from the start was it just made it a very bad location for something important to be. And there was a point when once I was go mode except for medallions where I thought about checking Meyer first and then going to check Turtle Rock, but at least if I check Turtle Rock first, I can get Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny, and then that turned into a clown show, that Trinex fight.
Yeah, you guys also got Flute early, so you had Flute, mitts, Flute, and boots early, so you guys were off to the races, so to speak.
Movement wise, yeah, it was a very open seat. It wasn't particularly linear. There was this one choke point looking for the mirror, which I skipped Uncle, and that sucked. But after that, the only other choke point was Bombos.
Yeah, those Sphere 1 and 0 locations are so important to not forget, and then you just write it off. So many runners have written off Uncle and Back of Escape when doing open mode. It's just so easy to then forget about it forever.
Yeah, I was off mentally. I think you could have seen it in some of my gameplay. I was off mentally most of this race. The Skull Woods thing kind of messed me up, and then dying twice to try, well, 1.5 times to Trinex. I mirrored out in the second fight when I couldn't beat him. But I'm pretty sure no one else ended on Red Mail and Gold Sword.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, I made a disaster out of this seed, right along with a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, like at least I think my count's gonna end up being almost 200 for item count.
Yeah, I ended at 189. The only thing I had before Bombos left was Magic Bat. So, and then Big Key, Tile Room, GT. So it was rough.
Yeah, I had Ether Tablet, Sarasla, and Pedestal for my last checks. So yeah, this seed was special.
I'm guessing you will probably never forget forego the Back of Escape and Catfish probably for a while now.
I mean, I will. I mean, I'm not so tilted about those locations. Like, I won't just rush off to them. But I get this. I knew Catfish was there. I just never really, outside of taking the frog up, I never had a time to really go over and look and check it. That made sense in the flow of the seed. Like, there's so many dungeons that I was able to do at the start. That going off into the corner of the world where there's just no other checks out there. Like, I'd orphaned, I'd done all of the flipper checks. I'd already checked Zora. So going out there is 30 to 45 seconds for one check when I have dungeons I can do. I'm just never going to go do it.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it was definitely an exciting seed to watch. Everybody's execution was really, really on point. So it wasn't like anything other than just the trolley locations that the items were in. So it was definitely exciting. We did get to see, pretty much where all the items were in the game. So I know as a player, especially when you're on restream, it's kind of frustrating. But as viewers, we all definitely had a fantastic show, and we really enjoyed watching each of you, how you were routing and the places you were going, because it was so different. It wasn't just everybody doing the same exact thing. It was a big variety and a lot to watch, and it was very exciting. So I understand your frustration, but believe me, it was a really great performance from all of you.
Thanks.
Yeah, you guys should definitely all go back and watch it. It is really, really awesome execution. For
So with that, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in on behalf of Speed Gaming. It is your support and your continued enjoyment of the programs that we put on that really make it worthwhile for us to be on here tracking and commentating. We love when chat is so engaging and involved, so it definitely makes it really fun. So thank you everyone, to the volunteers, the trackers, my co-com, the restreamers, and of course our racers, who this wouldn't be possible without. I wish you all a good night, and we will see you tomorrow for some more Z3R excitement. So have a good night.